What's up, folks, and welcome to Indie Ramble. So, I got a racing game for you today, and this one's a fair bit different than you may be thinking. It's a purely time attack title, and it's got this really cool neon fat beats infused vibe that you're seeing here in the menu. But don't be fooled, this is actually not a music or rhythm game. It's very much about fast-paced driving and skill. So this is Neodash, and it comes to us from a single developer who did everything with the exception of the sound design, and the music tracks are all licensed. There are actually more music tracks in the game than you're going to hear in this video, because a bunch of these come from Monster Cat, and my channel is not licensed for Monster Cat, so I had to flip a little switch that turns those off, but there's still a lot of stuff in here anyway. And this is a fairly robust package, actually, for a one-person effort. And, well, you're going to see here. I'll tell you right now, this game is going to challenge you. In order to unlock enough levels that I can show you guys a little bit of a variety here, I had to activate the recently patched in what's called ambience mode, which is basically the easy mode. So I'm going to change this to the challenge mode and show you guys what this is. But the ambience mode is something that basically it removes one of the core mechanics of the game, but it's the thing that definitely makes it the most challenging. And then it reduces the rewards you get as a result of that. So I'm going to show you this here. So you're going through this progression here, as you can see. You'll go through different levels, and certain levels have secret exits, all of which are brutal to find. I haven't managed to find one yet, which will unlock special stages that you can go through. And there's various different biomes. There's 15 core levels in each zone. Basically, I've gotten to the last level of Zone 2, which even on easy has been a challenge for me. So let's go back a little bit here and I'll show you this. So the idea of this is to get to the end as fast as possible, dodging all the objects in the arena, and if you're playing on the mode that the game was intended for, avoiding the, well, they call it the level disintegration, I call it the wall of doom, and I'll show you what I mean here. So you see that little meter along the bottom? Yeah, that's how fast you're going versus how fast the level disintegration is going. If you can't keep pace with it, that's what happens. And you're out immediately. And it gets really hard in some of these later levels to maintain the speed necessary while navigating all the different obstacles and different paths. And there's multiple paths you can take in each level while staying ahead of that thing. So you're racing solo in this. There are no other active players. There's no, oh shoot. Can I recover from this? No, I can't. So we'll get into that in a little bit. But there's no other players, there's no weapons, there's no anything like that. This game is completely about trying to get the best time. And there are online leaderboards for this that are currently being dominated by people who probably came from another dimension. But it does give you, you know, something to aim for, and there's some cool little integrations with that. And I'm gonna show you all of that once I get to the end of the level here. So the mechanics in this are very simple. You accelerate, you brake. If you get up in the air, you kind of saw that before, you can actually steer your car's position in midair. And that will become required in some of the later levels because you have to actually jump between platforms that have large gaps between them and may actually not be on the same plane. They may be on different angles. And you have to steer your car in the air in order to do that. So here we go. Most of the levels are relatively short, though some are longer than others. And when you get to the end, it shows you your finish time, which actually in my case was not too bad here, your world rank, and the top rankings. Now, the only thing I wish this had was the ability to browse the leaderboard beyond the top rankings. It's hard to compete against your friends in this, and you can't just click a button to see where you are and where the people are around you. It would be kind of also cool if it had something like some games have, I call them live leaderboards, which is basically it shows on the screen what your rank is and what the person above you has, and if you cross that point, it, you know, shows the next person and the next person and the next person. So it shows you kind of in real time what you're striving for. I do wish it had something like that. Now, you may have heard me say in a lot of other games with online leaderboards, especially shmups, that I really wish that one of the things I think really complements an online leaderboard well is replays. Well, I got something on that. So while you can only view the top 5 leaderboard positions, they all have ghosts. You can also turn on your own personal best, the previous run, and the time of the author. And you're like, author? Yeah, we'll get to that. So you can just turn all these on, or whichever ones you like, and you will have ghost racers on the track who are labeled and will show you, give you real-time goals to surpass, including the worldwide leaders, which I think is super, super cool. Now, the mechanics in this, as I was saying, are very simple. You can steer your car in the air, you can accelerate, you can brake. You always have to accelerate up to a certain point. The game will not let you stop. And you can power drift a la Mario Kart like this, and you have a boost, like a hyper boost thing. And the boost charges up either by doing power drifts like this or by picking up power-ups related to that are specifically in the arena. Boosting is something you want to keep doing whenever possible because it not only prevents you from slowing down, but it increases your momentum as well. So if you boost on a downward slope, it will actually increase your speed, sometimes at a fairly rapid clip, and it will do so without you having to use any of your supersonic power. So that's something worth keeping in mind. Wow, I got to 94th place on that. Jeez, I'm getting better at this. And as you can see there from the ghosts I had enabled, you really have to be doing that constantly, be sliding back and forth. If you want to time well, some of the earlier tracks will allow you to go in a straight line, but really you have to power slide constantly. You saw a bunch of guys there were even threading the needle in between all those spiky ball things. Yeah, you've gotta really slide back and forth. You gotta don't stop for nothing, you know what I'm saying? If you want to maximize this and really place well, you've got to do that. Though initially, you're probably going to want to be playing a lot of these levels just to get through them, especially the later ones, because I'll tell you right now, even the stock levels on this, and even when you're on the patched-in easy mode, this game will challenge you. We'll go into some of the levels in the second area soon. Crud. But another thing I love about this, instant reset. No reloads, no stupid 3, 2, 1 countdown thing. It's no. If you fail, you press the Y button and you're back into the action immediately. Love it. Obviously, I am playing this with a controller. You don't have to. I would recommend it for sure. It's a driving game. Driving games are always better with controllers over keyboard. It's just kind of the way of things. And frankly, you really need the analog control to be able to really finesse things and I think make the best times in this. But this is sort of the core of it, and the later levels are very daunting. And you know, this is not a game for people who don't want a challenge. This is not a game for people who don't want to replay levels sometimes multiple times over in order to maximize their time. It's made for that kind of player, and that's not every player, and that's definitely not every racing game player. So, you know, just be mindful of that, this is looking for a particular kind of person, someone who really loves score attack and who loves the thrill of competition and really, you know, digging in hard and making a determined effort to score as high as they can. That's really what this requires of you. And we'll show you here some of the later levels. Let's go into... So some of these require just some absolutely maddening things, and you'll see this here. Now, I have to say, I really love the look of this game. I love the neon of everything. I love the really cool abstract backgrounds for some of these levels. I love the shininess of everything. I love how the levels react to the music. Like I said, the music is actually not a core part of gameplay in this. It is a core part of the style, but it's not a core part of gameplay. The music will not change how you race through the levels. It will only change how the levels are reacting visually. And you can see where some of the challenge comes in. So you got these laser things that show up, and if you just touch them, you're dead. You're gonna see something else here. I told you before about how there are levels where you have to make large jumps and actually steer your car in midair. You have to actually maximize your boost for that too, to make sure that you have enough to actually clear the gap, which I didn't there. I might have to go back to the easy mode for this one. This is way too late in this level, I think, for me to just immediately go into it on hard mode. But it's tough. And you got to have the patience for this. If you're going to wipe out a couple of times and then be wanting to rage quit, I'm going to say this is probably not the game for you. You're probably just going to be like, oh my god, I don't have the patience for this. And that's fine, you know. This is another game, like a lot of ones I've covered lately, that is not aiming to be for everyone. It's aiming to be for a particular audience who has a particular kind of thing they like. And I'm all for that. No, I screwed it up again. See what I mean? I've actually beaten this level, but it took me a good 10 minutes of retrying to figure out how to make that jump correctly, and now I've already forgotten it. So yeah, it's a challenge, but it's a really, really satisfying one. I enjoy it quite a bit, and there are a lot of different ways to extend your experience just beyond this campaign, which is fairly meaty and is going to offer you a lot of content in and of itself, and a lot of challenge too. You're gonna be spending a lot of time just going through this campaign, but there's a whole bunch of other things. So you saw that I was earning sort of credits there. Yeah, you can do that, and you can buy all sorts of customizations for your ride here, which is really cool. Some of them need this sort of secondary currency, which I assume you earn in the later levels. So I don't actually have that yet. But you can buy all these things. This is purely visual. It doesn't impact your performance at all. The car drives the same consistently. The game is very much about that. It's very much about, you know, having a consistent experience and being about the skill in order to get through it. But you can make it look pretty interesting, which is a nice little touch and gives you a reason to sort of grind out some of the levels. And also, this is something you love to see it. Oh yes, it has a built-in level editor and full Steam Workshop support, and people have already made some absolutely banana cakes tracks for this game. I love it. It's just, there's all kinds of cool stuff in here, and you can sort by the ratings, you can sort by their difficulty levels from D all the way up to triple S. And there's a ton of them in here, and when you want to play something, you're just like, all right, let's check out Land of Digital Wonder. Boom, downloaded, 1 second, done. And here it is. How cool is this? User-made content, there's ratings. As I understand it, you cannot upload a track until you've beaten it. So you can't, you know, you can't, oh God. So you can't build tracks that are impossible. You know, it has the full leaderboard integration. Every individual track gets the leaderboards, it gets the ghost replays, it gets everything. And you can make your own redonkulous styles that, again, are fully reactive to the music in the game. I love this. This is what takes this game from good to great, in my opinion. You could buy this game, and even if you're really good and you ace the campaign and you do everything else, but you still want more, there are hours and hours of fun in here, either playing other people's tracks or making your own. And I love to see it. I love developers. That's one of the things I also really loved about Instruments of Destruction, is I love games where the developers make the time and effort, and you see you can rate the levels. I love to see developers make the time and effort to involve the community in their products, to extend their products, to make really cool and different things, and to do things that in many cases the developers themselves never thought of or intended. And it's a way for the player base to, oh, how Outrun is this? Oh, I love it. Oh, this is gorgeous. And yeah, they get to involve the community in the process, in the creativity, and you get to see some truly amazing stuff. And yeah, I wish more games did that. And this game would be cool on its own, even if it just had the campaign. But with this in it, it becomes top tier, in my opinion. Developer did an absolutely wonderful job with this overall. I've been having fun with it. Yes, it's very tough. Will I finish it? I don't know. I may reach a certain point where I'm just like, nah, man, you know, I can't do it anymore. But you know, I may very well. I don't know. But with like, I just love coming in here and going through the level browser. Like, I don't have the time or the patience to make levels for games like this. I just don't, and I know that. And anything I do make would just not be very cool. But I love just going through these and seeing the cool stuff that people have made, and that they've just said, okay, let's see what these tools can do, and they pulled off some truly crazy stuff. And it's just so seamless and works so well, and yeah, it's really, really good. So there's more content here than meets the eye, and oh god. Okay, well. Yeah, there's a lot more content in this game than meets the eye, and it rewards patience, and it rewards getting good. And I'm actually very glad the developer did patch in the easy mode for people who don't really necessarily care about being hyper competitive, but just but you know, still want to have a little bit of a challenge and have a good time, but are not really going for that hardcore, you know, leaderboard positioning. I think that's okay, because it's not a win button, it's not a game journalist mode, you know, it very much makes the game bollocks. The game still remains very challenging. It just takes that one little edge off of it that can the one thing that I think could maybe be the frustration point for a lot of people. You know, the levels destructing behind you definitely makes this game, that's the thing that takes it from challenging to somewhat brutal in a lot of cases. And I could see a lot of people bouncing off for that reason alone. I suspect that's why the developer chose to patch that in. And so that's one case where I think that was really good. And hey, if you want the pain, then just don't turn it on. You don't have to, right? Perfect. I think that's the good way to do it. I don't think I'll ever get as remotely competitive as some of the people on these leaderboards are. These people are obviously A, extremely good at this, and B, extremely patient to spend all this time on it. You know, the top of the leaderboards are going to be, it's going to be the people at the top competing with each other. You know, it's not going to be them competing with the rest of us. That's kind of why I do wish you had the ability to browse and set ghosts for positions in the different positions in the leaderboard. Like, I really would love to be able to go in, hit the button that a lot of games have that show you where you land. Oh, I was almost there. And then go, okay, so here's the 5 people in front of you, so let's set ghosts for them, because that's an attainable goal. Setting a goal for the #1 person on the leaderboard is cool and all, but all that's going to do is show me how fast that person can, you know, fly away from me in the oh, did it, there we go. All that's going to do is show how fast that person can fly away from me on the screen, right? It's not going to, oh my, it's not going to help at all. Whereas in this case, or whereas if I had something like that, I could say, all right, show me what's achievable to me, and that way I could work on that. When it's stuck to only a top handful, that's kind of like, yeah, all right, you guys have fun up there. I'll just be back here doing my thing, you know. So that's the only improvement I would like to see. But otherwise, this game is fantastic. I have been having a ton of fun with it, and I'm going to keep cranking away on it. Do a level here, a level there, and see if I can see what I can do to get through it. I think, but. Yeah, that is Neodash. It is a grand old time. I don't know. Right now, I'm playing this on PC. I don't believe this is on consoles yet. It would be great on those. I'd love to see this on everything. This would be a great handheld game on the Switch. But if you do have a Steam Deck, I don't see why this wouldn't run well on it. And this would be a great portable game just to kill some time with. You know, if you're on the go, I think that would be really, really neat. And I'd love an opportunity to see that, to see this come out in other places, because I think it could do really well there. The workshop integration maybe wouldn't be available because that's not something the consoles really support, but even if it just came out with the campaign and maybe it was a slightly lower price as a result, still could be really, really cool, I think. So thank you very much for watching, everybody. I do appreciate it. If you liked what you saw here, please do all the normal YouTube things. Like, subscribe, hit the bell. Leave a comment down below. Tell me, what do you think about this? Do you think this looks too challenging for you? Is it something that you're interested in? If you're not on PC, what platform are you on that you'd like to see this on? I'm sure the developer would love to know that too. Yeah, I'm just curious what you guys think about it. And as always, you can follow me over at twitch.tv/pxabstraction for multiple variety streams a week. I cover other indies over there that are better suited to streaming, as well as retro stuff. We have a great community there, and I'd love to see you be a part of it. Thanks again, everyone, and I'll see you on the next Indie Ramble. You folks have a good one. Take her easy.